Well, hello and good morning, everyone. This is Jeff Hooks. I want to welcome you to our VNI partner training for this Saturday, August 10th, 2019. And if you'll bear with me, literally, my neighbor's landscaping crew just cranked up the lawnmower right when I hit the record button. So we're all about casual and informal here. Cynthia, make sure you've hit your mute on your audio until I introduce you officially. Folks, I'm excited. I'm always excited to spend time with you, and as always, we put a lot of effort. When I say we, I'm talking about the leadership team on the content that is shared on these Saturday partner trainings. There, and I think you know this. It's an interesting responsibility in terms of as all of you know. We have on a consistent basis every single week. We have new partners that are just plugging in, that are just launching their VNI businesses, just engaging in building their customer base, building their partner team, et cetera. And then, as always, we've got many of the top leaders and emerging leaders in the world of VNI plugged in, leading by example. And so we always want to make sure that as our leaders are sharing ideas and best practices, that the entire team is being nourished. And so the purpose of, if you're brand new, the purpose of our Saturday partner training is very, very simple. It is to help you grow your VNI customer base. It's to help you grow your VNI business. And the reason I separate those two is because I want you to understand that some of our partners, their objective, their vision, at least initially, and sometimes on an ongoing basis, is to build a customer base with VNI. And by blessing people with, our mission of assisting people in becoming beacons of health, hope, and abundance, by sharing these products, building a customer base, and at the same time, enjoying what we call the thank you checks, enjoying the compensation that comes, immediate income, long-term residual, et cetera, that comes from building a customer base with VNI. And you could do that. We have partners that are only building a customer base. And we had a new partner that engaged with us in late March, whose monthly residual on his customer base for June's check. So he started in late March, April, May, and then his June check. No, I'm sorry, his July check for June volume. So 3 months, just over 3 months of engagement, aggressively building a customer base. And his monthly check was $1,800. So I share that with you just to let you know our compensation plan rewards customer acquisition. Customer acquisition is the lifeblood of our entire business. Now, at the same time, many of our partners, including our executive director leader that we're going to be learning from today, choose to build a customer base and also build a partner team and teach them how to build a customer base as well. And that's where the leveraged income comes. That's where the opportunity to, if leadership is something that excites you, that inspires you, team building, if the idea of assembling a team, coaching, mentoring, encouraging, shepherding that team is of interest, then you're going to want to build a partner team, and at the same time as building a customer base. Okay, so our goal, again, back to the purpose of this weekly partner training, is to equip and empower you and your partners to grow your business and to reach your goals. It's literally that simple. I was thinking there's some rabbit trails. And I'll tell you what it's really about. Jim Rohn used to say, and I'll personalize it for VNI. If you want your VNI business to grow, then you need to grow. So one of the things that we're committed to as a VNI family, as a community, is growth. It's growing. It's spreading our wings and reaching our potential. I've heard a number of success coaches over the decades use this visual. So candidly, I would give credit if it only came from one source. But how tall does a tree grow? Think about that and indulge me. Just think about that. Obviously, rhetorical question because I can't see you. But think about that. How tall does a tree grow? And the answer is as tall as it can. It's going to reach for the sky. It's going to grow. It's going to grow as tall as it can. And that's what I think with human potential, and specifically within the VNI family, that's what we're committed to. And by the way, growth translates into contribution in the VNI model. Growth ties into mission. And as I've always shared, as we continue to expand our company and our brand across the U.S., across Canada, and around the world in the years ahead, we are looking for, make sure you can see the lighthouse, because that's exactly what we're talking about. That's VNI. That's what we're a part of. It's all about contribution. It's all about impacting people in a positive way, both physically with our products and financially for those that are interested from a business perspective. And so it's about growth. And what we want to do is nurture, and we want to encourage you, for those of you that are brand new partners, to cultivate a culture within your team of personal growth where we celebrate the progress, not perfection. I've often shared with you one of my favorite non-biblical quotes is from, originally I learned it from John Wooden, and then I think I've shared with some of you that I realized John Wooden picked it up from Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale had an amazing program called Lead the Field, and that's where John Wooden picked it up. But John Wooden is a Hall of Fame collegiate, he's in heaven now, but he was an amazing collegiate basketball coach at UCLA. Arguably one of the best leaders and certainly coaches in the history of the sport. And he used to say, it's what we learn after we know it all that counts. I encourage you to jot that down. It's what we learn after we know it all that counts. And I love that thought, because that ties into the idea of staying grounded in humility, staying grounded in being grateful. Hey, I'm part of the VNI family. I'm making progress wherever you are in your journey. Associate manager, executive manager, director, executive director, like our leader that Cynthia that we're featuring today and going to be learning from. But it's all about progress. It's about getting and not out of performance anxiety, but out of inspired, mission-focused intentionality. I know that's a wordful. In other words, we're inspired to grow. Why? Because it's fun. It's fun. And the better I can get, the better you can get, the better we can get as a community in sharing the VNI products and the VNI story and the VNI message, taking our founder and CEO's vision of assisting the world in becoming beacons of health, hope you can see that, of health, hope, and abundance. The more equipped we are, the better we are. The more we do that, the more lives we're going to touch, the more people we're going to impact in a positive way. And so all that is to say, the idea of, for all of us, we never, ever want to get to the point, got too close to my screen here. We never want to get to the point where we think we know it all. And Lord knows I'm far from ever hitting that delusional conclusion. Leadership is often about, action and adjustment. And so what we want to do, and again, back to today's partner training, is create an atmosphere, create a culture within the VNI community and the VNI family where we celebrate progress, where we celebrate learning and growing. And I'm going to send a little quote here in the chat bar. And I know we got many partners that are plugged in over the phone, so I'll read it to you. But John Maxwell says, Growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today. Growth is and he's talking about personal and professional growth. Growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today. And that really is a good representation of the type of community we want to cultivate and encourage within all of VNI. And then I encourage you to, as a leader of your VNI team and your business, to consider that, and hopefully to embrace that, to be very intentional about growth, to be intentional about developing not only yourself, but your team as well. And again, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Jim Rohn used to, one of my favorite quotes, leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. I'll say that one more time. Jim Rohn used to say, leader of one, leader of many. By the way, if you can't tell, I've gone through some Jim Rohn content in the last week. Gosh, I love it. Take charge of your life, which I recommended actually last week. Leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. So what he's talking about is we need to grow, all of us, no matter what our vision is, no matter what our game plan is with our VNI customer base and our business. We need to lead by example. As we learn to lead ourselves, we can then more effectively lead others. So it creates this upward spiral of growth. And it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's positive. And it's enjoyable. And the beautiful thing is that growth cascades into every area of our life, personal, friendships, family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So growth, we want to be intentional about growth. And that's what today is all about. Now, I've got a couple things real quick before I introduce our featured speaker. We always talk about, I'm not even going to chat this, we always talk about 2 key principles every single Saturday. And the reason is they're that important. Okay, they're that important. All right, the first is the idea of staying plugged in. Okay, just like you're doing today. If you're brand new, this is so important. Remember this, stay plugged in. Stay plugged into your sponsor if they're active, if they're engaged in the business. Otherwise, you can get with the company, you can get with me, you can call customer care. You're welcome to email me, jeff@vni.life. And if your sponsor's not actively building the business and you don't know who your upline success coaches are, then we want to put you with there. Here's the beautiful thing about our model. There is at least one, usually multiple men and women that have a vested financial interest other than just a moral commitment and a team commitment, a mission commitment to help you. And we want, so much of this business is about teaming up. A new partner teaming up with an existing partner, and both of you have a vision. Both of you have a place you want to go, and an important place. You have a vision for contribution and for impacting people's lives. So there's a tip that I didn't even plan on today's training, and that is team up. Look for somebody to team up with. And so if that's not your sponsor, God bless them. That does. If they're not actively committed to building, that's okay. We want to make sure you get the kind of support that you deserve to reach your goals. And so we'll put you with somebody in your upline success team that's at least an executive manager, or higher, that will help you and support you. Okay, so stay plugged in. Stay plugged in to your upline success coaches. Stay plugged into your back office and to your marketing website. Stay plugged into the SMS text and email communications that come out from the company. And you don't have to read them every day depending on your time commitment, but you can archive them and read them, a couple times a week, or you can go to your news feed from your marketing website and stay plugged in. Stay plugged into the monthly product call that we had last Monday. Stay plugged in. What a great call that was. Catch the replay in your back office if you missed it. Cutting edge stuff. It's exciting. Stay plugged into our conference call schedule. We had the monthly kickoff call last week. We featured Mike Dannenberg, went director in 2 months from starting from scratch. And by the way, he didn't transfer an organization. He's not a networker. That was all through a customer base. which is exciting. You went director in 2 months from from ground zero with a customer base. So that's exciting. So that if you missed that, catch the replay. It was last Tuesday night, first Tuesday of every month, our August monthly kickoff call. Stay plugged into the Thursday night Zoom presentations. Ken Nasmitz did a wonderful delivery of our company and our products and our science this past Thursday night. Stay plugged in, again, just like you're doing today, on our weekly partner training. So stay plugged in. Don't isolate. That's one of the keys to reaching your goals and objectives with V&I. Don't isolate. Don't be what I call a rugged individualist. I'm, Frank Sinatra. I'm going to do it my way because, candidly, in 30 years of experience in this space, the rugged individualist, the Frank Sinatra, and I love Frank Sinatra, his music, some of it, most of it. The rugged individualist who's going to do it his way, and it's usually him, but not always. They always disappear. Always. I have no exceptions, and this is just my personal experience. I have the individuals that aren't coachable, that don't plug into community, that don't plug into the team, that don't focus on contribution, that are just going to figure it out themselves. What happens is, metaphorically, of course, they grab a machete, they head off into the jungle to blaze a new trail, and they're never heard from again. The reality is we've already blazed the trail, and we've paved it. So all you got to do is paint by the numbers. It's a very predictable model, and all you got to do is be, humble enough and wise enough to listen to your upline success coaches and follow the path that's already been laid out for you. So number one, stay plugged in. Number two, be consistent. Do something positive every day to build and grow your V&I business. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is sustained through consistency. That's such an important point. Consistency is the key. If you'll do a little bit every day, maybe one phone call. Mike Dannenberg talked about this last Tuesday night. If you haven't heard the replay, please do. He talked about his initial goal was to share V&I, the products, with one person a day. Now, as his business has snowballed and his thank you checks have snowballed, he shared also on this call last Tuesday that his goal now is to share V&I with 6 new people a day. Now, that might scare some of you off. That's okay. Those are his goals. But remember, he started with one. Rinse and repeat. Consistency. That's the key. So stay plugged in. Do something positive every day. And I'm going to end with one last thing before I introduce our featured speaker. And I call this the success recipe. I'm going to send this in the chat bar. Hold on a second. I wish y'all could see sometimes what I type when I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. It's hilarious. All right, at least to me. Self-deprecating humor. All right, the success recipe. Success is doing the correct things. I'm going to come back and explain this for a second. Correctly long enough. The success recipe for your V&I future is we want to teach you how to do the correct things correctly, and you got to do them long enough. That's the recipe for success. Now, think about one of the ways to understand this is to take one of these 3 components away. And I'll submit to you, from my own experience, and y'all just consider this, from my own experience, if one of these 3 components, if one of these 3 parts of the recipe is missing, you're not going to reach your goals. You're not going to reach your potential. In other words, think about it this way. If I do the incorrect things correctly long enough, is that a formula for success? And the answer, at least again, in my experience, is no. You can do the incorrect things for the next 10 years, and you're not going to reach your potential at the very least. Okay, you might have some results. I mean, I'm a believer that, conceptually, and y'all bear with me here, you could if you had the means, you could buy a bunch of Protovite and just hand it out to people with your business card and don't say a word, and you're going to build a customer base over time. That's going to cost you a fortune, and that's not a very smart way to do it, but you probably could do it. So that would be an exception. That's doing the incorrect things correctly long enough if you had a gazillion dollars to invest in building a customer base. But we don't want you to do that. You don't need that. The correct things correctly long enough. Now think about it. Let's look at it from the other way. Let's take away the long enough. What if someone does, a partner does the correct things correctly for a couple of months? Depends on the size of their goals. If their goal is to create $50 to $100 a month recurring thank you checks, build a small little customer base, then yeah, that's fine. But if you want to build a serious business or a meaningful cash flow in terms of thank you checks, you're not going to do that in 60 days part-time. So success is about doing the correct things correctly long enough. Okay. And that's what this partner training platform is all about, helping you and your teams understand the correct things to do, how to do those correct things correctly. And then the long enough part, candidly, is up to you. We'll just remind you of the importance of persistence, the importance of sticking with it, the importance of, the reality that anything worthwhile, personally or professionally, takes persistence. It's easy to quit. It's easy to be negative. That's why we talk about, putting good stuff in. I call it brain food, soul food. Heart, feed your mind, feed your heart, feed your soul, because it's easy to be negative. It's easy to quit. And by the way, quitters, with all due respect, never take responsibility for quitting. Okay. This didn't work for me because I didn't go to work. My weight loss program didn't work because I kept eating Doritos and donuts every day and stayed on the couch instead of working out. It's when people quit, there's always an excuse. Sorry about that. When people quit, there's always an excuse. So what we want to focus on, again, success formula, success recipe, doing the correct things correctly long enough. That's what this is about. And we want to create an environment of encouraging that growth, encouraging and celebrating the progress. There's a leadership tip for you. Be an encourager. Celebrate the baby steps. When you have a brand new partner that shares V&I correctly with their very first contact, celebrate that action, celebrate that activity, and recognize and remind that partner that if they'll keep doing that over time, big things are going to happen. I had a coaching call as we segue to my introduction. I had a coaching call with a partner who just actually is an executive manager. In my coaching call, this individual has personally enrolled, I think it was 7 customers and 2 partners in the last couple of months. They earned 3 straight weekly thank you checks in our compensation plan. And earned 4 checks in the last 6. And I reminded, this was I don't have his permission to mention the name, but he's a great guy and y'all get to know him, but he's in Mike Boston's team. And I shared with him, Mike and I were on a coaching call, and I shared with him earlier this week that if you keep doing what you've been doing the last month over the next couple of years, because I know his goals, the next few years, because his goals are pretty big, I said, it's over in a good way. And so it's build the model, replicate the model. So we're always going to be reinforcing those few things that you need to do to reach your goals within the V&I family and the V&I community. So without any further hesitation, folks, it is my privilege to welcome onto our V&I partner training, Cynthia Sauer. Cynthia, as you know, is an executive director leader with V&I. Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me, Jeff?
Clear as a bell. Well, listen, you and I had talked this morning and exchanged some text messages, and you've got some things that you felt on your heart would have a huge impact, which I completely agree with, for today's training. And I lost your visual there, Cynthia. So without any further hesitation, there you are. You're back. All right. So Cynthia, take it away. So glad you're with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was playing Harry Houdini. Anyway, well, good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that Jeff has given me the opportunity. And while Jeff was talking, I was thinking to myself, wow, we are so blessed to have a man like Jeff at the helm of this company. And what attracted Jeff Hooks was a man like Bill Downs. So I really want to pour into your life today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a mother of four. I'm a homeschooler. I am 100% Italian, so I'm sorry in advance if I get a little loud. I'm married to my husband for 22 years now. And, we've had some rough spots financially, and we've had some great times too. We've run a couple of health clubs in the past. We've always been entrepreneurial, but we've never really been able to sustain, with John being so sick, the stability that we've needed. And so I've done a lot of things, but I'm here to give you some hope. And I want to just take a minute and share with you what's really on my heart today. I started thinking that we all have vision in our life for something, and when you show people and invite them to look at what we have, something's motivating and moving you to do that. It's a vision you have. Maybe it's just a small vision. I want to bless this person. I know this person's not well. I know this person is an athlete. This would really help their game. But whatever that was, you saw something in VNI, and you see something in these trainings, or you wouldn't be here, quite frankly. Okay, so you have your own mini vision. But I want to talk about, I want to share a little gratitude with you on someone had to have a vision before us. And I want to thank personally Kim and Bill Downs, who had vision to start this company. Mostly Bill, who had vision and passion that was moving him in that vision. Because I have to ask myself, why did Bill leave what he was doing and start to become a molecular biochemist? And for those of you who don't know the story, we can share it with you. Maybe Jeff can share it at the end. But Bill was doing something else in life, and something really lit a fire underneath him, and it was emotional. And he came home and he said, Kim, that's it. I'm done. I've got to start to move in a different direction. And last week, Jeff gave us the challenge. It was a recommendation, but I took it as a challenge. And he said, I want you to take a look at Jim Rohn. It's not change your life. It's, well, the title doesn't matter. Jeff can tell you at the end, but I started watching it. And if you come away with nothing else, take action on this. Watch Jim Rohn, the one that he recommends. He's at a talk board. He's talking about changing your life, and it's all up to you. And just briefly, Bill had to change himself and say, it's up to me. One person can affect one starfish, right? The story where the guy threw the starfish in, and you're that one starfish, okay? You have something that is so precious in your hands with Victory Nutrition. Our Stephen Kushner, the fact that these two met and he was able to bring along what he had. So we truly are standing on the heads and shoulders of people who had vision before us. And so I hope to inspire you to cast your own vision, because everything has been handed to you on a silver platter right now. You're poised in position. We have Jeff Hooks at the helm, who also had to see something in VNI to clear his desk, and come on with our company is not a small thing, to have a man of his caliber. And Jeff put 70,000 people to work in this industry in countries all over the world. Think he knows something? He does. Success leaves clues. And we have one of those mentors right in our company pouring into us every week. So what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about a couple of different things. Number one, I want to get you into action. Okay? If Jeff is giving you skills, he's given us incredible trainings. You can go back and watch them. 1, 2, 3. He started on June 29th. Go back and listen. The very first call he did, he gives everything to you right there. And you're going to need to listen to that more than one time. You're going to need to take notes, go over your notes, fill them in, and then start taking action. Well, I had a mentor that once told me it's the start that stops most people. And that's very true, because you might be equipped and you might know and you might study, but then you're in the moment and you're afraid to take action. Something's holding you back. Maybe your belief's not enough. Maybe your vision's not strong enough. But maybe you do have a strong vision and you do have great belief, but there's something even deeper. And that is the personal development portion of building anything. Your marriage, your parenting skills, your business, your health loss. You have to develop as a person. And this is what Jim Rohn's going to do. Take charge of your life. That's what it was. And so Jim Rohn's going to help you to really come to a crossroads and see, oh my gosh, he speaks such truth and wisdom. And I can't tell it like Jim does. Jeff is referring to him, but we have a recording. Go use it. Watch it 11 o'clock at night when you have the time, but put it on your calendar. Because one of the things that happens is we have great intentions, but we don't stick it down. So you have to start making lists. You have to start making goals. You have to start organizing and managing your life. You could know the right thing to do, but you don't do it, right? Because you're not organized and you're not disciplined. And I don't mean to say that as a negative. I'm not a negative Nelly. I want you to succeed. I want our company to succeed. And why do I want it to succeed is not to put numbers on the board, because people are hurting. People like me who had pain that regrouped with Protovite. People like my son who had to come off of medication. People like my husband who's been in bed walking in the healing, Lisa Turner, because I used to say John was disabled. She's like, don't say that. You're planting bad seed. And I'm like, okay. So I had to learn a new way of talking about John's illness, that he was going to be healed. And yes, victory came into our life and we started upping his doses, and he's done tremendously well. If you know anybody that has a husband like mine that's had failed back syndrome, lots of surgeries, is on medications for pain, you have an obligation to move out of your comfort zone, get out of the way, take action. And hold on, I brought my two partners right here. So here they are. Here's my two little guys. I hope you can see these two. These are my Protovite moments. And I heard Mike talk last week about elevating the moment. And my goodness, we have a product called Moments. And so when you cast a vision for what you want, and you have a vision, which isn't a goal. Remember, Jeff told us that last week. A vision is not a goal. Cast your vision, and then let's reverse engineer, set the goals, and then let's map out a daily action plan. So if you have a plan to advance, you need to know where you are right now, setting your sales. There's plenty of time in August to set your sales, but you're not going to move forward. I know this from experience, unless you're passionate about what you're doing, unless it is specific. Nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. So when I set goals with people, I'll say, well, what is it that I'm trying to help you do? Because if somebody told me they wanted to make $5,000, I'm like, that's not good enough for me. I'm not motivated by money. Is it your credit card payment? Is that holding you down? You don't have enough time with your kids? You're driving in a beat up car and it's unsafe? We can put you in a new car, your own new car. You want to make that car payment? Tell me what I'm trying to help you do, because that's what motivates me, because I'm driven by mission. And in VNI, we are very mission driven. And the first mission, the foundation of everything that we're doing, is to help people have better health. Beacon of health, hope, and abundance. So I have on the back of my car a little decal. We got them at convention. If you weren't at convention, I guess you didn't get one. Jeff can come back on and tell us where we can get them. But everywhere I go, I want people to know, proud as a peacock, I'm the VNI woman. I don't have to hide it, okay? Jeff said, if you had a business and you didn't open the doors, you have Mama Lucia's restaurant and nobody knows, then you're not in business. So let people know. I put a decal on my car. I put a decal on Allie's car, and it's just there. We drive around. We go to church. People see it. Health, hope, and abundance. Over and over and over. You want to have a visual to increase your you know, the number of times that a person sees that, they're going to go, I wonder what that is. I'm going to ask Cynthia, what is health, hope, and abundance all about? You know, and as we're getting healthier, they're going to notice. So in casting a vision, just backing up, I know that when I heard Mike Dannenberg talk last week, he really made an impact on me because he is very vision driven. Anyone who listens to this man knows he has a very clear vision, and he told it to us. And you should take a page out of his book. His vision was his family. And I would love to be a kid in Mike Dannenberg's family because he has a clear vision. He's all about his family, you know, and a family man is a great man. And so we're going to attract other family men that can see, hey, we attracted a man like Mike Dannenberg, who's a family man guy. Jeff Hooks is a family man guy. Bill, totally family man. And so we have great people that we can refer out to create that culture. So know where you're going. And then he talked about his God, and that was very important to him. And he talked about VNI. Of course, he has his practice, you know, but he said to elevate moments. And so once you break down your vision and then you put it into a goal, a short-term goal, and then we can map that out on a daily, whatever we need to do daily. Okay, we have to map it out to what we need to do monthly, then we break it down to weekly, then we break it down to daily. My son's trying to read To Kill a Mockingbird right now. I told him it's got to be done by, you know, I gave him a 2-week parameter. We took the book, we divided it up. I said 22 pages a day, buddy. You got to get 22 pages a day because when school starts, you've got drama, you've got, you know, your schoolwork to do. You're going to be having to stay late after school. You're going on a mission trip. When will you have time? So that's where the personal management comes in. You have got to get a system of looking at what's on your calendar and make it a priority. If you're really wanting to build with VNI, where are you going to put that? If it's spare time, then you're going to make spare time money. Spare time effort, spare time money. If you want above average, then you have to be above average. If you want above average health, you've got to give it above average attention. And our product is definitely above average. I can tell you that right now. You can be proud as a peacock. You don't have to worry at all. I would never put my name behind something that wasn't the real deal. People know me. And I'm a straight as an arrow type person. And, you know, I love on people. And I've gained so much just from mentoring with Jeff, who does give me wings. I mean, we text and we talk, and he's like, you know, sharing and caring, you're doing great. And I'm humbled by all the encouragement that I get. And I want to pass that encouragement on to you. Jeff wants to be available to you. And if you do have, you know, winners and people that you have vetted and said, look, you have the vision, you need to talk.
Hey, Cynthia, your screen locked, partner. I think we just had an internet challenge. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
All right, you're back. All right, go for it. I can't see you. You're good. It's all good. Back at you.
So, you know, get into activity mode. And if there's something that's stopping you, you need to get with your upline success coach. A mother doesn't have a million babies at once. She has them one at a time. And you need personal attention from your coach, your individual coach, because that's what we're being paid to do by VNI. A leadership coach is supposed to lead, enter in, get in the trenches with you, help you figure it out, help you make the adjustment. But if you're not taking action, it's hard to give adjustment. You know, I can't help my son. I'm like, Chris, well, what are you doing? Okay.
Hey, Cynthia, we lost you again, partner. I'm sorry, your internet provider we need to have a strong talk with. Can you hear me? Cynthia.
Hello? Yeah.
Okay, you're back. All right, give me the phone number to your internet service provider. I'm gonna make a very strong call to the CEO at home.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So we do live in the mountains, so I'm really sorry, but hopefully you can hear me. But you need to be communicating. Communicating is key. So take action on that. Maybe it's a phone call to, and definitely it is a phone call to the sponsor that enrolled you. the success partner that enrolled you or got you started. Even with your customers, you need to stay in touch with them. I like to do little touches with people and taking action. That's one of my goals within my vision. Because if I'm going to be a beacon of health, I have to help the people who are just my customers. So I'll send them a little text. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And that's all a part of the big vision of my own personal, which I stole it from you, Bill. Beacon of health, hope, and abundance. That's an excellent vision for me. And I filled in some other things on the family, but it's a great vision for anyone, because if you don't have health, you got nada. If you don't have hope, then where are you going to be? And abundance you will have. If you have hope, then you will have the wealth of really moving forward in your life. We talk about health in many ways, our physical health, our financial health, the health of our marriage. I know a lot of marriages have problems because there's financial issues, but others have problems because there's health issues. And when you do have health issues, it ain't no fun, and some of them are addiction issues, and that's no fun. V&I is something that you should share. And in order for you to move out of your comfort zone, I'm just like a broken record. We need to help you become all that you can be, the best version of yourself. And the best way I know how to do that is to study right now the Jim Rohn series that Jeff gave, because it will help you to take charge. So, Jeff, I'm going to throw the ball back to you. I don't know if you're still there, but
oh yeah, absolutely. Of course I'm here. I've been wonderful information. Now, I have a question if you're up for it, which I know you are.
Oh yeah, I'm up for it.
So the vision, and you've covered that from different angles in such great vivid depth, I would say. In terms of your own V&I business and when you coach your individual partners that you work personally with, how important is it to take the vision and then again, as you've already coached, to set those goals, but then how specific would our newest partner that's listening today, how specific should they be on their exposure goals? For example, for the month of August, or for this week, or for today. Give us some of the thoughts on specificity of those goals, in addition to what you've already shared.
So I think that when a person first gets started, that they can run with their pants on fire, ignorance on fire, how they say. When you get really passionate about V&I, you don't really think about the numbers. You're just out there like I was. Okay, sharing, and just creating a big fat mess and then cleaning it up after. So I think that initially when a person really sees V&I and they're like, whoa, if this really works, we can help a lot of people. And then you just kind of go warm market. Then that dust will settle. So I think after the initial, wow, this is great, and you can just go make a big fat mess, I think initially you need to have 2 meetings with your upline success coach, 2 webinars, and we did them on my team, where I would say, okay, let's get your people together. I will talk to them. We'll open up a conversation on a webinar, and we'll just share. And that's what we started to do, so that could give them some confidence. Now, poverty awaits a fool. So if you tell me that, and all kinds of poverty, not just financial poverty, because you could be poor in many things. So if you tell me you want to lose 50 pounds and you don't have a plan to go into the gym, then you're just fooling yourself. So to answer your question, I think the bigger the goal that you have and the more desire and passion that you have, then you do need to be very specific about what you're going to be doing. So when I set Christopher down and he said, Mom, I want to make it back to a certain level, then I said, well, let's look at the comp plan. We mapped it out. And then I just told him, it's going to take you making 7 exposures a day if you want to end out over here with your closing ratios. And, and this is what it's going to take. Are you willing to do that? And then he was like, day 1 went by and I'm like, did you do your 7 exposures? He's like, but that was action and adjustment, because then we could say, well, maybe my goal was too lofty. Maybe I need to adjust my goal and say, look, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to do, 3 a day. And then let's see where that brings me. Because as you get in there and you start to expose, if you're not bringing them back for a three-way where I could help you to have the person have success, because remember, success is a cycle. Okay, bringing a person from just knowing about BNI, it's a cycle. So they might need a talk with you, a video, a sample, and then just a, hey, how you doing? And there, you have them in a cycle. Okay, you have them in a room going around and around, and eventually, and you love on them. But because you have so many people coming into your little merry-go-round, you're not really worried about it. You just keep going, and it motivates a person like me to know, gosh, I have 20 people swimming in here right now. And eventually I don't have to pressure anybody, just like Mike Dannenberg said, okay? Focus on what you're doing. I'm here to plant. But if I know I need to plant 2 a day, believe me, I'm going to have my eyes wide open when I go in to the Walmart. I'm going to be looking. And here's how it works for me. Because I have a goal, and this is very specific, and I know I went on a tangent, but this is important. Once you have your goal set, you can't just stare at it, okay? You put it in your book, and you say, at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to check this off. And if you don't, you need to look at a calendar twice a day. In the morning, when you're going out to do the thing, and in the end, when you saw if you did the thing. And if you didn't do the thing, then, again, you got to make a change and go back and listen to Jim Rohn. But what I do is I know, okay, I have this, and this to do. I have a few minutes in the store and out of the store, and I need to look for opportunity. So how am I going to look for opportunity? The way I do it is I throw some energy out. If energy comes back, I might continue to engage. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a friendly person. I'm looking for a helpful person. I'm looking for a person, maybe the person's overweight even. And I make a reason by the organic bananas to talk to that person, right? And I say, oh my gosh, can you believe the price of bananas on organic? It's really not that much more expensive, and you can eat healthy. I mean, pennies. And she's like, I know. Do you like health? So we engage in a conversation. And maybe I will take a number and maybe I won't. If it's not there and I can't, I might just hand a little postcard and say, oh, you know what? I'm in a big rush, but I want to bless you with this. Maybe you can call me. I'd love to continue talking to you, and just take it away and go continue shopping, because I can't get tripped up, But if you don't have postcards in your purse, then you're not ready. It's not game time. So you got to have postcards. You got to have your name on them. You got to be able to say, you know what, I'm in a big fat rush. You're always in a big fat rush, because you don't really want to sell a person on the spot. You want them to go to the information, call you back. If they call me back and they're proactive, they're great. I felt great when I was with that lady. She had energy. She had spunk. She had, I'm not bragging on myself. I'm saying this is you I'm talking about. Change yourself to be a giver and not a taker. When you come into the room needs to light up. Hey, folks, there's plenty of stuff out there that is sucking our energy. Fill yourself with light. Fill yourself with love. And that, my friends, is done by reading. That's another thing that Jim Rohn talks about. You're not going to lick it off the ground, okay? Like I always tell my kids, you're not going to lick it off the ground. You have to make an effort, and you have to invest in yourself so that you have something to give people. Because Cynthia Sauer really doesn't have much to give, honestly and truly. I pray a lot. I read the Bible. I cry a lot sometimes. It's okay to cry out the pain of whatever it is and be real. And I try to be transparent with people. I'm not here to be the most popular or the biggest or whatever. I'm just here to serve and do what God wants me to do. So if I'm getting out of the way in the vision of what I have to do to be a beacon leads people back to the shore. A lighthouse is there to serve the people in trouble. So the lighthouse can't really be concerned about itself. It's already on the shore, and it's got light coming out of it. So if you don't have your light turned on in your lighthouse, we got a problem. We got to talk.
I love it. Cynthia, that's beautiful. We all want to be a lighthouse, right? We want to be a lighthouse. You articulated that so well. We want to be a lighthouse shining out into a dark world that needs it, with physical pain and issues and financial pain and issues. And I want to send this chat as you were just saying this. So the message, Cynthia, that you've shared and taught all of us, have a clear, memorialized share goal. That might be language that as a leadership team we start to use. What's your share goal? In fact, leadership question. What is your share goal? That's something I like that,
Jeff, it's not like it has to be every day, because you can say, look, I'm taking these 2 days off. Work hard, play hard. Because if you're doing it every day, and look, I do not want to be the testimony for I worked at 80 hours a week. No. There's life after your business, and you can still do it successfully, but you have to have the vision that I'm planning my time with my family so I don't feel that I'm stealing from them. I'm planning my time for my health, so I've got to get in bed at a certain hour. I'm planning my time. I'm in contact with these every single day, twice a day for myself, and then I can focus, because it's going to take crystal clear focus. When am I working VNI? So if you only have 3 days that you want to work, or that you can work because you're in another job, and you really do need to have 21 people contacted by the end of the week, and you better be hitting the pavement on those 3 days or changing your goal.
Now, to your point, Cynthia, listen to this, and you know this because we've talked about this in a couple of different ways over the last year. Here's the beauty of this for our partners listening in. And Cynthia, you've experienced this, the power of setting a goal. And the key word, we talked about this last week, we talked about focus. It's about clarity. We talked specifically about what a magnifying glass does to the sun. It turns it from warmth to something that can start a fire. So goals provide focus to us and clarity. So you might say, to your point, a partner might say, you know what, I'm working my VNI business 2 days this week, or 2 evenings this week, or 3 evenings this week, or 1 evening this week. But my share goal is I want to share with 10 people this week, whatever the goal is. Here's what happens. You might be on your day off from VNI, and you're having a coffee meeting with a friend, a coffee catch-up, or a coworker. And that coworker says, you know what? I've got to set some health goals. I've got aches and pains. I've gained weight. I've just started a walking exercise program. I'm looking for some supplements. Do you have any recommendations? All right. When that happens, you have a choice to make. You can say, you know what? Today's my day off from VNI. I'm not going to say anything because today's my day off. Or hopefully what you'll say is, thank you, God. And you know what? I'm glad you asked. I've got something that I really think could help you out. And so what happens is when you set a goal, it sets your mind to a frequency where you're aware, your periscope's up. You're saying, who can I help? Like you said, Cynthia, be a giver, not a taker. Who can I help? Who can I make a contribution to? Who can I be a beacon of light to? And that awareness creates opportunities. And that's why people say, how did Mike Dannenberg bring on, by the way, he crested past 100 personally sponsored customers and partners now. And I think the number is 90 are customers. And that just happened last night. He sent me a text yesterday.
I mean, he is really setting a pace.
He is. And
Mike Pacesetter Dannenberg.
That's it for the whole company, for everybody. And we're all cheering him on and saying, okay, he's blazing the trail for what's possible. But the way he does that is exactly what, Cynthia, you're talking about and what we're talking about here. He's got a shared goal, and therefore that focus, that clarity creates an awareness, and his antennas up. That's maybe the way to say it. His antennas up always, just in his normal daily life, of who can I help? Who can I help? And I want to.
He talked about this too last week. He said, look, this is a clue. Take notes. I have notes from what he said. And as you begin to come to love us, because we really want to love on you. I mean, if you're watching this recorded, we want to love on you. As you begin to meet the different personalities in our company, you're going to gravitate, and Mike's going to say it one way and I'm going to say it another way because I'm a different temperament and I'm a woman, and then he's got his thing, and then Ken is going to say it in a different way and he's going to talk a little more lower, and but I'm going to be like, because that's what I am. I got to be me, and Jeff's going to wrap it up in a different kind of a candy wrapper, but it's going to be pretty much, you're going to start hearing it over and over, the same thing, because we are creating a culture here, and we do have the cream of the crop. I mean, we don't want to waste your time on a Saturday morning. We want you to make the most out of this time you're investing on Saturday, because you could be doing a lot of other things. So this week should be a really amazing week. I'll cast a vision for you. We need to set sales for this week as a company off of what we've learned today, just from what Jeff gave you. And hopefully I have lit a little bit of fire under you to say, you can do it. I believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, let me believe in you. If you want to text me, go find me on Facebook. Tell me what you're doing. Message me. I'll be glad to go. You can do it, because, we are a team, and we're looking for leaders. We're looking for you. And I'm very passionate about this. Our company should really be out there. We have so much value to bring to the marketplace that we need to attract valuable people that can be polished, but yet themselves knowing that we're giving them what they need in order to truly be successful. A lot of times, if you're really trying to build the business part, people are like, I don't really think I can help another person to make X amount of dollars. I don't really believe that that's possible, but believe me, you hear it is possible. It is, because it's all based on the foundation of our product. And our product is just, it's so scientifically validated.
It is. Cynthia, I want to jump in. Cynthia, I want to jump in because I've got a couple closing comments. Then I want to pass it to you. Closing comments and say bye. I want you to wrap up our event, but I've got something I want to share that I want to toss it back to you for the close. Okay. Think about this, y'all. This just came to me in terms of everything that Cynthia has been coaching and reaffirming. I want to make an example, and think about commercial real estate, not residential. But just bear with me here. And Cynthia, you don't answer the question because it's rhetorical. Okay, what makes one piece of commercial real estate more valuable than another piece of commercial real estate? Commercial.
I want to answer so bad.
All right. And the answer is exposure. Okay. Traffic. In terms of commercial real estate value, what makes one piece of property more valuable than another is how many people drive by that piece of property every single day, every single week, every single month. It's exposure. It's exposure activity. Okay, what separates Cynthia and John Sauer's business as executive directors from a brand new partner that's just getting started and doesn't have their first thank you check? Exposure. Okay, what separates Ed and Gina Bender, the number one income earners, ambassadors going crown ambassador, from an associate manager or a manager, an executive manager or a director making great progress? Exposure. They've shared, when I say they, it's them leading by example, and their team, their partner team, have shared the VNI products and story with more people. So what makes a piece of commercial real estate more valuable than another? Exposure, traffic, the number of people, number of eyeballs that have seen it and go buy it. What makes your VNI business more valuable? The exposures, the number of people that have seen VNI through you and your team. Think about that and set your share goals for the week. Break the zero consistently. New customers, new partners with a product order and a subscription set up. And you're going to be on track. All right, Cynthia, back to you for our close.
Okay, you ready for my close? Because I'm just like, oh gosh. This is my close. I'm going to give you a piece of paper, Jeff. Don't go away, Jeff.
Okay, I'm back.
Can you see this? Can you see this whole thing? I want to see this photo.
Yes.
Can you see it? Should I back up a bit?
Let's see. Make sure you have clarity on your...
It's the little man that I drew.
Oh, yeah. See, that's a smile.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sharon and Karen with a smile on your face and love in your heart.
Yeah, so get this, folks. It says at the top here, the foundation is who. And as I was taking, these are notes I took from June 29th. And believe me, I'm very pictorial. I was a teacher. I taught kindergarten for 2 years. Let me tell you what, right here. This is where you need to be. He's talking about it. It says right here, circulate and, it might be backwards. It says circulate and percolate, right? And he's talking about the traffic going by, okay? The other thing about real estate is location, because that's where the circulation is, right? So if you get out into the marketplace and you circulate and percolate, wear your VNI shirt. I was looking for my shirt this morning. Okay, I'm a little unorganized. I couldn't find it. I'm like, darn it. But you have a cap. We have stuff. We've got pens. We've got the little can opener thing. You know, when you have it out there, it's going to draw traffic to you, you know? And so smile that says, I know where I'm going. I'm very confident, love in the heart, because you can't do this for your bottom line. That is not acceptable. Okay. That is not our way in VNI. It's going to take care of itself. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You just go and care on people. You just go and love on them. And you enter in when they talk, listen. Be a good listener. Jeff told the story about how he went to the dinner and the guy was like, God, that Jeff Hooks is a really great guy. All he did was listen. He was listening the whole time. And it takes that, listening to your people of what really their needs are, what their strengths are, what their desires are, and then offering them this as a solution. So, be excited to serve and finish strong. Never give up until the bell rings. The bell rings at midnight on the last day. Hey, if you have a weekly goal, I'm going to share something with you. You could be paid weekly and you can help people weekly and say, okay, by midnight on Saturday night, which is tonight, it's the end of the week. Tomorrow starts a brand new one. You have to get whatever you're doing, wrap it up, because if your goal is for finances, okay, and some of you have those, then your check will be paid out next Friday. And then whatever you do tomorrow is the beginning of a new week. Then you're going to set a goal for then. So these last 2 days are almost like the close of a month every week, Friday, Saturday. And then you just fly into the next week. And then I also try to set a 2-week goal. By the 15th of the month, I'm going to be here loading people in, give them a chance to, look at the information, cogitate. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, I'll be able to just kind of not coast, but coast in a way where I'm following up and enrolling people. And then I do it again the next month. It's like a plane taking off, touching down just for a little bit, and then flying back up to the next month. So we marry the months together. So I love VNI. I love Jeff Hooks. I love my team. And I'm very excited every day to get to work for the mission of helping people to be healthier, more hopeful, and abundant.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Let's have a great day and a great week, everybody. Let's go and grow. God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless you all.